But we're going to be talking about sales not from the traditional perspective, right? Not from the hustle culture, because I don't like the hustle culture. But it's not that I don't like it. It's just that it doesn't speak to the person that I am or the person that I'm becoming. So the hustle culture is where, they tell you to grind, 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 grind. And the hustle culture basically is when you are focused on you. You're not thinking about your potential client or your potential person that you want to serve in the hustle culture, especially when it comes to sales, right? Because in the hustle culture, it tells you, do more, make more. It never says serve more, align more, and then, where is it? I don't see it here. Like, it has nothing to do with service. It's about you and your business. you and your business. I can't find what I'm looking for. That's so weird. Anyway, so it's about you and your business. And I'm going to say a little backstory about me. When I first got into business, when I first opened my healthcare staffing agency, I hated selling. But I didn't hate it selling because of sales. I hated selling because I hated the feeling of what's that? Oh, Prime. I hated the feeling of trying to persuade people to buy or convince people or manipulate, or the feeling of manipulation to close a contract or rejection, right? So because that's how I was taught. That's how I was taught, right? Make more calls, you can close more contract. Do this and you could close more contracts. It just never registered with me. Like I'm really trying to look for something and I don't see it. But anyway, maybe, oh, here it is. It just never registered with there you go. It just never registered with who I am. So I don't know how much of you guys feel this way when it comes to sales, right? In your business, right? Even in your personal life, right? Convincing your spouse or convincing your kids or just convincing your family just to do something, right? It's a form of sales. How much of us feel like dread, anxiety, the feeling of, oh my God, I got to go out there and I got to manipulate people, or I got to convince people, or I got to do this. Like, it's like all of these emotions that we have when it comes to sales. And we're told that if we can't get over the emotion, we are told that just to do it. And if we don't do it, we're not going to close the sales. And if we can't sell our business is not going to make money, right? So this is what I was told. So when I first started my agency in 2020, I did that. Like I did the whole hustle culture mentality. And I hated it. Like I hated making the calls. I hated speaking to the clients or the potential clients. I felt like speaking to the administrator or the director of nursing, it just caused me so much anxiety. Like I was just coming from that's just the mindset, but I did it anyway. And I was able to close contracts, so don't get me wrong. I was able to close contract, but it just didn't align. Like every day I had to pick up the phone and prospect, right? And do prospecting and to see who in my area that I was prospecting wanted to, had staffing needs, had staffing issues, whatever the case may be, right? So that was every day. But every time I had to do that, it wasn't a good feeling. It wasn't no great energy behind it. It wasn't no great emotions behind it. It was just something I had to do. I wasn't excited about it. Like I just knew like I just had to do this so I could close the contract so then I can place clinicians so that my agency can make money because that's what I wanted so I can leave this travel assignment, right? So how much of us feel that way that have a business? Hey, Whisper, you can drop it in the chat. Like that have a business and feel like, I know I need to sell, right? I know I need to sell to, have customers. I know I need to sell and close sales so that I can have revenue in my business, right? So I can probably leave my job or do whatever I need to do, right? How much of us feel like that? You guys could drop it. Like, let's have a real conversation, right? Because we have to debunk some of the myths that we are told for us to realign with our true self. Because this is what I was told. I have so much books on sales. And can I tell you guys the truth? I never finished one of them. Like, I have every single book you can think about on sale. There's one I finished this year, but it was different. It was talking about energetic selling. It's a real good book. It's by this I think she's not from Russia. I don't remember where she's from. But I have so much books on sales. I have The Psychology of Selling. I have, if it's a book about sales, I have it, right? I have it because I have 10X by, what's his name? Grant Cardone. I have, all the books. I have all the books. But for some reason, I just could not finish those books. Like, I would read it. It would give, like, in the beginning, 1 or 2 chapters in, and I was like, this doesn't resonate with me. This doesn't speak to me. This doesn't flow with me. It gave me more anxiety. Reading those books gave me more anxiety than it actually helped me. So I was like, God, that's not me. And I would put it down, like, because I was looking, what I was looking for in the book was something that would align with who I was becoming, not something that was going to add to the anxiety and the pressure, right? And what I found in those books, I don't take the books, like, those are great books. I don't take it away from anybody because everybody have different belief system, but it just didn't work for me. What I found in those books was more anxiety, more, like, for me, more manipulation. Like, you have to do this and you have to persuade and you have to do this and you have to convince and you have to do that and you have to do that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just want to be Shanika. I want to show up and be of service. I want to show up and share the gifts that God has placed in me, because that's what I believe. That's what I'm aligned with. That's what made me feel good even saying it in this moment. And I want to share that. And in me sharing that, I will be aligned with my clients, right? On the healthcare staffing side, not on the coaching side. I will be aligned with the clients and the people, not even the clients. Let's not say client. I will be aligned with the people that I was called to serve. And through that alignment, my abundance would flow. And I could not find any book that spoke to that. Not one book that spoke to that. Not one content. Well, now, yes, but not one content that spoke to that. Every content that I read or I watched said, do this, do more of this so you can have more of that. And it just didn't resonate with me. So like I said, I have a whole bunch of books on sales and on this. I even have a whole list over there that I said I was going to try to reread this summer. And they've been sitting there for like 3 weeks because it's just like, okay, Shanika, they don't resonate with you. So you have to, choose a different path. It was not until I really, really thought about what the selling or the art of selling means to me. How do I want my potential clients to feel? Who do I want to be aligned with? Because like they said, everybody's not your client. That's a true thing. Like, everybody's not for me. Everybody's not going to be aligned with me. How can I be of service to those who need my gifts, right? And the vehicle I choose to carry those gifts or to expose those gifts or to have others experience those gifts was through my healthcare staffing agency, and now through the Healthcare Staffing Academy, my mentorship program. Those are the vehicles I choose to use, which are businesses, right? So everybody's different. So these are the businesses I choose to carry the gift or expose the gift or share the gifts with the world. That's the right words. Share the gifts with the world. So I realized that. And I realized that those books that I was reading did not align with me. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with them. And they may be aligned with other individuals, but it just didn't resonate with me because I was never able to finish one of them. I was more able to finish like spiritual books and those different books. But when it came to books on sales, no. And I'm not saying there wasn't good material in the books, good knowledge, but it just didn't align with me. So I had to develop my own system. And I've been thinking of, should I share this? Should I share it with other people? So I had to go into like meditation, however you align, that's how I align, prayer. And within that, I said, yes, it's time to share it, because what I hear a lot from a lot of my mentees, especially, like, they could do everything. They can build the business, like they could build the LLC, they can get the insurance. Like, that's the easy part. But when it comes to the selling part, they get stuck. They get stuck and they feel like the selling is so much bigger than them. They get stuck and they don't know how to unstuck themselves. It's because, and I'll tell them, it's because you're selling from what you can get. You want to close a contract. You want the client to do this. You're not asking yourself, how can I serve with my gifts so my clients can benefit from this service that I'm showing up? That's how you close more contracts, right? So they had to realign themselves, and some of them do and some of them don't, right? Because it's mindset. You have to unlearn things. Like, it's a programming, right? You have to deprogram your mindset about sales to reprogram your mindset about sales. Because if I say in my mentorship, hey, starting for this week, I want you to make 50 calls for the week. I want you to make 10 calls a day. And we're not looking to close our contract. We're just looking to figure out what's going on in your area, in the industry. What is the language like? What does your client need? And you come back and you say, Shanika, I wasn't able to do that. And I'm like, why? I'm scared. Why are you scared? And then we'll go through it, because they think sales is, I have to get on the phone and I have to convince and I have to persuade and I have to manipulate, and then I have to break it back down for them. Like, no, you have a gift. And you're using your healthcare staffing agency, especially my nurses that I mentor, you're using your healthcare staffing agency to express that gift to your client and show up and be of service. So it's a lot of reprogramming that I do in my mentorship program. Not only teach you how to build a healthcare staffing agency. A healthcare staffing agency, like I said, is the vehicle you're using to help carry your gifts. You guys know what I mean, right? So like I was saying, it was not until I sat down and I figured out, how can I use my gifts to be of service? How can I sell as Shanika? No hustle culture, no manipulation, no, thank you, Mr. Will, no, no, okay, I want to, the more people I have, the more sales I close, but I don't care what happened to them on the back end. Right? I don't care. Like, as long as I'm collecting the money, like, I'm looking at my bank account more than I'm trying to service my clients, or, trying to make sure that my clients are okay. That service part, right? When I figured this out, this is when I start making millions. When I figured this out for myself, this is for myself, right? And I'm sharing it with you guys. This is when I start making millions, right? Because, like I said, nothing was aligning with the person that I was becoming. Sales caused me so much anxiety. I'm going to tell you guys this. This is a little secret. I was so glad when I called a facility and nobody answered the phone. When I started selling, I was so excited when the phone got disconnected, because I was so anxious. I was so nervous. I was so afraid, especially of the rejection. But I was so excited when when they said the administrator wasn't in, or the DON wasn't in, or do you want to leave a message for the DON? I'd be like, no, I give them a call back. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need to talk to them. I don't want to bother you. I was so happy to say that than to actually speak to the DON or the administrator or the executive director, because I felt like I would have to get on the phone and I would have to convince and I would have to manipulate and I would have to persuade why they have to use my agency and this, and that. And I hated it. I hated it. I hated it 100%. I hated making those calls. But like I was saying, when I figured out that I did not have to have the hustle culture mentality to make money or to scale my agency, when I was able to come from a place of service, right, and serve with my gifts that God have given me, right, through my story, through my experience, through, whatever, that's when I started making millions, not through hustle culture. Like I said, hustle culture worked for some people. I'm just telling you what works for me. So I'm not taking nothing from anybody, right? So I sat down and I developed 9 laws. I'm not going to give them to you guys all now. This is probably going to be for the week that we're going to talk about these 9 laws, because I think that if we break down sales to what it is, we can be able to make more money, because you have to make sales in your business for your business to make money, right? But there's a way to do it. There is a way to do it. Right? So that is going to align with you, that you're not going to feel anxious, that you're not going to feel like, a sense of rejection, the energy of rejection. So I sat down and I've developed the 9 spiritual laws of sales. Now, everybody's not spiritual. Everybody's whatever they want to be. If that works for you, that works for you. I'm telling you what works for me and what helped me make millions of dollars in my business. And now I have in my healthcare staffing agency, and now I have a 6-figure coaching business in less than a year. And actually probably 7 months, right? So the first law is the law of purpose. The law of purpose. You have to figure out, or not figure out, you have to embrace your gifts, right? Because we're all born with gifts, right? So we don't embrace it. When you embrace your gifts, right? Because I know we have more than one. When you embrace your gift for that business that you're building, you are able to sell that, because you're not selling something you don't know. You're selling who you are. Your gifts are attached to you. You're not selling like something that you hear somebody says. You're actually selling from a place of, I want to see my client win. I want to see my client have transformation, right? Like for Mr. Will, you have a CNA school. I want to see my CNAs win. I want to see them come from not having a steady job to getting into healthcare field to becoming a CNA, probably an LPN, probably an RN, right? That's what I truly want to see. Not get my student, get as much students into the door as I can, get them out, get more students. No, you have to be attached to the outcome in a way that you want your clients to win, right? And you want your gifts to serve your clients. And that's why they say that you are not for every client, because your gift is not to serve the whole world. Your gift is to serve those who you are called to serve. And when you understand that, you will show up in power, not in fear. And when you show up in power, not in fear, you are able to close more sales. And you won't even call it sale. You would just call it, I'm in my purpose, right? The law of purpose. I am in my purpose. And that's where you actually want to be, because that's where your power is. That's when you won't even need a sales script, because you're truly aligned with your gifts, and your gifts will speak for you. And when you get on those sales calls, you can just, I tell my mentees all the time, you're just having a conversation. Yes, I'm going to give you a sales script, but I don't want you to get on the phone and act like you're a robot. I want you to get on the phone and I want you to have a general conversation, because you're speaking to another human, and we're humans, we can feel energy. So just have a general conversation. And when you're able to show up and have a general conversation, you're actually able to say, what is going on in your building? Right? What is the thing that is keeping your building from not being fully staffed? How can we be of service to you? Before you talk about any contracts, before you talk about any bill rate, before you talk about any volume, before you talk about any open ships, that's the question you're supposed to be leading with in the healthcare staffing space, or whatever space that your business is in. The law of purpose, right? That will bring down that wall that people have, because people like to buy, but they like to buy with purpose, right? And if you're coming with, here's a proposal, here's a contract, I want to do business with you, these are my rates. What are you talking about? Who are you talking to? You don't even know who you're talking to. You don't even know if your gift is to serve this client. It may be, it may not be. When you lead from that, especially in this industry, when you lead from that energy, you have to kind of pull it back and say, how can I serve this client in the best way that's going to work out for the highest good of everyone involved? For me and my business, for my potential professionals that I'm going to send into the building, and for my clients so they can get what they want. That is a level of serving with purpose, the law of purpose. What is the purpose of you building your business, right? That's another thing. Are you building a business because you saw something on social media? I'm looking at the email. Are you building your business because you saw something on social media and you feel like, okay, that's where I'm going to make money? So you're chasing that, right? Are you building your business because you're in a survival mindset and you're just trying to get out of the survival mindset? If your business is your the vehicle that you're going to express your gift out of, right? You need to figure out why you're building this business and who it's going to serve and the transformation that they're going to receive. That's the number one thing. What is the transformation that they're going to receive? What's the transformation that I'm going to receive when I'm able to show up and serve with my gift to this client or this mentee or this person or whatever the case may be? And this is principle. This goes beyond healthcare staffing, beyond, and it goes for every single business. If we look at business as a vehicle for our gifts, I think that sales will come naturally. I know that sales will come naturally, right? Because our gifts that are placed inside of us, inside of me, inside of you, these are natural things to us. These are, thank you so much. These are natural things. These are natural laws, right? And these are reason why we were placed. Like my gift, I love to encourage, I love to empower, right? I love to see people go from one state to a next in transformation. That's my gift, and I'm able to help my mentees and help other people with that, right? So I love that. That's one of my gifts, right? And we have many gifts. Yes, I do it through business, right? I do it by showing up on TikTok. I do it through speaking to my clients. I do it by speaking through my mentees. That's how I choose to express my gifts to the world. So you have to figure that also, right? Also, the law of purpose says, why am I doing what I am doing, right? Why am I doing what I am doing? What is the purpose behind it, right? Am I just doing it just to make a sale, right? Am I doing it just to get a plaque to put on the wall that says I am a 6-figure creator or I'm a 7-figure creator? Is that the purpose behind what I'm doing? Listen, I love money like the next person. Money is great. Money give you I will say opportunities because it gets you in rooms. Yes. Money give you choices. Yes. But what is the purpose behind you building your business or building whatever you're building? What is the purpose? Really sit with that. Like, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I saw somebody highlight reel? Does this really speak to me? Is this something that I really and truly want to do? Or is just another phase of my life that because I'm out of alignment with who I really am, that I'm just trying to figure it out? And nothing is wrong with that, because sometimes you are out of alignment, right? I've been there, and and sometimes I get there and it's fine, it's okay. But you always have to remember your purpose, right? You always have to remember why you have started something, why are you doing something, why are you creating something, right? When I figured that out, the law of purpose. So the purpose of my healthcare staffing agency was, one of the purpose after I figured it out was, I'm helping nurses see that it's possible to be on this side of the table, right? I didn't even put my clients in there already. I am helping nurses see what is possible when you actually step away from the bedside and you take what you have learned, your logical knowledge from nursing school, you pair it with your gifts, and you're able to sit on this side of the table. And you're able to show up powerful because you're serving a large population, which is nurses. I'm also helping clients see that staffing agencies can be great in communication, can give you great quality. Like we're not only showing up to say, hey, sign a contract, let's do a deal, and that's it, and never talk to you again, never communicate with you, none of that, right? And for myself, I am doing it because I knew there was a different version of me inside of me that I was hiding. So I had to stop hiding my gift and show up within the purpose. When I figured that out, it was easier for me to have higher level conversation with decision makers. When I figured that out, I didn't have to manipulate anybody. I didn't have to persuade anybody to do business with me. When I figured out the law of purpose, why I was actually building my staffing agency, I was able to get on the phone. I was able to close more contracts. I only closed one contract before I figured it out. After I figured this out, I closed contracts, and I closed contracts at a higher rate. I hope you guys understand that I was able to close contracts at a higher rate. Like I actually double my rates, because my rates were so low. Because like I said, I was in a hustle culture mentality. So I had the thought of, if I have the lowest rates, I would get more contracts. I only got one. I think I got two. One I never used, one they never implemented. It was just like they signed to say, hey, just in case something happened, we want to put you in place. The other one it utilized, but the rates were so low I wasn't making no money. When I figured out to serve from a place of purpose, and I doubled my rates, I closed more. I used to get it was so crazy. I closed more contracts when I aligned with my purpose for really starting my business, and I increased my rates. I got more contracts. It was like, because I shift my energy to a service-based energy, to a purpose-based energy, it's like my clients felt that energy, and it was like, yeah, we want to do business with you. Send over the contract, right? And I was like, okay. Signed it Friday in Walmart, walking around, got an email, contract signed. Next Friday, the same thing. The next Friday, the same thing. Monday morning, the same thing. And I did it, and I was like, wow, that's all, like, wow. Right? So I'm not going to be long tonight. I just want to let you guys know, right? So this week, I'm going to be talking about the 9 spiritual laws of sales. If you're having problems selling, if you own any kind of business, if you own a healthcare staffing agency, because I hear this question so much. I cannot get a contract. I have the business. I've done all the things. I've done all the calls. I've done everything, but I just cannot get a contract. I'm going to tell you why. You're out of alignment with your purpose. You're looking at contracts from what you can get. I. This is what I hear this is what I hear talking to people on consultation, or people that's DM me. I cannot get a contract. I have been making calls. I have been doing this. Have you really sit back and think about, what is my purpose in building this business? Who am I supposed to serve? Right? And how can I use the gifts I have to show up and serve those who my gifts were called to serve through the vehicle of building my healthcare staffing agency? Right? When you flip that mindset, you're going to get you won't even be thinking about getting a contract. It will just flow. Your mindset will not be, your mindset will never be, again, can I get a contract? Can I get a contract? I can't get a contract. It will be, who am I going to align with that's going to want to do business, that I'm going to want to do business with, they're going to want to do business with me, and then abundance and my revenue is going to flow. That's the mindset you should be thinking about. And this is why sometimes when you say, well, I've been calling for 6 months and I haven't gotten any contracts, and I've been doing this and I haven't gotten any contract. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. We have to get out of that hustle culture mentality. We have to get out of that manipulation mentality. We have to get out of that mentality that says we have to work harder, right? I'm not saying that you're not supposed to work. You're not supposed to show up and do what you're supposed to do. Yes. But we have to get out of that hustle culture mentality. We have to get out of the I in business. I want this. I want to make sales. I want to do this. I want to do that. We have to get out of that mentality. Once we get out of that mentality, it's like we can see the whole sales process different. We won't even call ourselves a salesperson. We'll call ourselves a steward of our gifts. That's what you're going to call yourself. Once you stop calling, I don't call myself a salesman. I don't do sales. I'm a steward of the gifts that God has bestowed upon me, and I'm able to share my gifts in this way. Right? But I just put it in layman's, in the terms that we understand, right? The logical term, sales. Right? And ask yourself, right? Ask yourself this question. I'm going to leave you guys with this. Ask yourself this question. Why am I so afraid of selling? And I want you to write down, just write. Don't think about it. If you spell the word wrong, it's fine. You know what it means, right? Because sometimes you write in. I want you to write down. I want you to take a piece of paper after I get off of this live. And I want you to write down every single reason why you are afraid of selling. Why are you afraid of selling? It could be something you heard that you have to do that you're just not aligned with. It could be like, I'm not good at sales. That's one of the things. I'm not good at sales. It could be, I don't want to feel like I have to convince anybody to buy a product. I don't want to have to manipulate anyone, right? It could be, if I don't make this amount of sales, da 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 da. So I want you to write down every single thought that comes to your mind when you think about why it's hard for you to sell, or why it's hard for you to close a client on one side. And then on the next side of the paper, I want you to say, this is my gift, or these are my gifts, because we have more than one gifts, right? So these are my gifts. How can I express my gifts and share them with the world? How can I do that? And then create a list, right? So you're gonna look at the list that you're gonna look at your first list. You're gonna look at your second list. You're gonna cross out your first list, and you're gonna just work on your second list, your gifts. And when you start doing that, you won't even think about closing sales. You will be in such alignment that abundance will just flow to you, right? You will be in such alignment. Well, so that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. I know I usually talk about healthcare staffing, but I really wanted to talk about sales, because if you're not able to position your mindset for sales in a certain way, you're not going to close any clients. You're always going to be thinking from the contract. Right? So tomorrow we're going to be talking about the second spiritual law of sales, right? The 9 spiritual laws of sales is my own framework that I use, right? That I have developed over the years, because like I said, I didn't like selling. It just didn't resonate with me. Every single book I ever bought on sales, I can never finish. Like it just didn't resonate. Right. And then I was like, for the person that I have become, what really resonate, right? That's not going to make me anxious. That's not going to make me feel like overwhelmed when I'm on a sales call. When I could just be Shanika. I can just be Shanika, right? So I'm sharing this with you guys. I'm sharing this with you guys. And in sharing this, I hope you can see that the sales process is a gift. Right? The sales process is a gift, and you have it, and you can do it. And it's not something hard, and it's not something outside of you. Yes, you can read books for basic knowledge, but you know why you build the business, the purpose, right? So from the law of purpose, since you know from the law of purpose why you build a business, you can talk about the business, and that's selling, right? You never have to say buy this or buy that. You're talking about the business, and people will come up and say, how do I work with you? Or how do I purchase what you're talking about? That's what you really want from sales. You don't want to be hustling to close sales. You want to be in alignment. All right. So this is what I have for you. I'll be back tomorrow night. Remember, I'm doing my June series on healthcare staffing June series, my live every night at 8 p.m. Also, if you want to learn more about healthcare staffing, this Wednesday, June 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm hosting a free masterclass on 3 simple steps on how to launch your own profitable healthcare staffing agency. 3 simple steps. If you are a nurses are my main clients, but I get other clients too. If you are a nurse or a healthcare professional and you want to be sitting on the other side of the table, you need to be on that masterclass. If healthcare staffing is one of the vehicles you want to use to share your gifts with the world and build wealth and build abundance, and you want to be on the other side of the table, right? Because you can't make real change if you're at the bedside. And I always say that. You need to join my webinar. I mean, not my webinar, my masterclass. You can click the link in my bio. Sign up. Registration is free. It's this Wednesday at 7 p.m. and we're starting on time, because if you know, the Knicks are playing on Wednesday, so I'm not going to go over the time. So 7 p.m. registration is free. Seats are limited. Let's start building from a great mindset, right? And I'm just going to be teaching a lot on that webinar. If you want to learn more about healthcare staffing, the healthcare staffing space, what is a healthcare staffing agency? How do we make money? 3 simple steps. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys. Happy Sunday. Happy new week. Right. And for those of us who are business owners, really think about the purpose of your business and why you start your business, and start from that alignment and see how your business change, because every business idea is an idea of abundance. Right. So really think about your framework and how you structure it and what you think about. All right. I see you guys tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TikTok. I'm also on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram over here, but I'm on TikTok over here. Thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for your time, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day or a great night. Guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for your time, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day or a great night.